To Spectrum News, I am Rachel. David White coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Tinubu writes Senate seeks support for military intervention. NECO says over 1 million candidates will sit 2023 SSCE. Plus, Frank says only legitimate Niger government can cut military ties. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. In the news this afternoon is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has written to the Senate seeking its support for military intervention against the military junta in the Niger Republic. He also sought the backing of the legislature on the cutting off of electricity to the country. Recall that Niger's democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum was toppled by his guards, and the leaders of the West African Regional Bloc and Tinubu met to discuss sanctions to be placed against the military personnel who toppled Bazoum. Meanwhile, Bola Tinubu has replaced the ministerial nominee Mariam Shetty, choosing two others including Festus Keyamo and Dr. Megari Mahmoud. This was revealed in a letter by President Tinubu and read by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio in the ongoing plenary session today. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has called on the people of Kogi West Senatorial District to maintain peace and unity ahead of the forthcoming gubernatorial election in the state. In Villa, the president assured them of his commitment to look into their concerns regarding marginalization and the need for fair representation in governance of their state. According to a statement by President's Special Advisor Ajuri Ngelale, the delegation had expressed their unwavering support for the Tinubu administration and requested the president's backing for Kogi West Senatorial District to have an opportunity to produce the next governor of the state. They emphasized that this would be the first time the district will have a chance to produce the governor in 27 years since the state's creation in 1991. In a separate development, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) has warned traders and other stakeholders about the negative consequences this is used in the telecom sector as one of the mandates of the NCC as enshrined in the Nigerian Communications Act 2003. The central objective is to protect the rights and interests of consumers. Reports say non-type approved telecom devices are considered to be supplied to the Nigerian market from grey sources and are known to degrade the quality of services in the network. Deputy Director Consumer Affairs Bureau, Dr. Emilia Nwokoro, a telecom consumer outreach program of NCC which took place recently at the GSM Village in Abuja, said the event was part of the sensitization effort of the Commission to address the issue. In education, the Council has said over 1 million candidates NECO registered will take. The Registrar of NECO, Professor Dantani Wishishi, disclosed this in Jos Plateau State while monitoring the conduct of the examination in some schools. According to a statement released by the spokesperson of the Council, Aziz Sani, 601,774 of the registered candidates are male, while 584,814 are female. The statement also quoted the NECO boss as being satisfied with the general conduct of the 2023 SSCE based on reports obtained from across the country. In another development, the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has issued an ultimatum to the federal government to withdraw a lawsuit filed against the organized labor. It said it would commence a nationwide strike on August 14, 2023, should the Federal Ministry of Justice fail to withdraw the lawsuit. The NLC made the decision during its National Executive Council meeting, which was held in Abuja, allow themselves to be used as agents of anti-democracy. The center noted that though it agreed to suspend protests based on its meeting with the president, it will embark on a nationwide strike starting from August 14, 2023, should the government fail to withdraw the lawsuit filed against it. And back here, the Akwa Ibom State Police Command said it had neutralized armed robber killed by operatives of the command's Special Weapons and Tactics team who were attempting to arrest him was a remnant of a dreaded armed robbery gang led by late Malachi Wem Friday. This was contained in a statement today in Uyo by the command's public relations officer, Diko McDonald, titled Akwa Ibom Police Neutralized Notorious Armed Robber Wisdom Sunday, Akwan. According to the statement, the deceased armed robber was responsible, Celine Akwa Ibom, a senior nutrition advisor with Center for Clinical Care and Research Nigeria, Celia Tav, has called on both private and public organizations to adhere to essential maternity rights of workers to enable pregnant women take maternity leave for a minimum of 18 weeks. Speaking with Spectrum Television on the 2023 theme for the World Breastfeeding Week, Let's Make Breastfeeding and Work. Tiav said the theme focuses on breastfeeding and work to provide a strategic opportunity to advocate for maternity rights that support breastfeeding for at least 6 months. The nutrition advisor, while stressing on the importance of breastfeeding to a mother, child, and family, solicited governments to make available policies that will help in supporting maternity rights in workplaces.
The World Breastfeeding Week 2023 is enabling breastfeeding, making breastfeeding work and work. So Nigeria is joining the rest of the world to celebrate the World Breastfeeding Week, usually celebrated from 1st to 7th of August every year. So it's a call that we need to support mothers to go on maternity leave at least for 18 weeks, and then to give like 2 hours during work hours for mother to breastfeed and have a breastfeeding break time, and then to also have a lactation room and crèches in workplaces. We're encouraging that policies should be in place to support mothers to breastfeed for 6 weeks, for the period of 6 months with a paid maternity leave. All right, the government needs to play this part, but supporting the policies, just like I mentioned earlier. These policies will be in place because if we have a policy, it will guide organizations to be able to support the working mothers. The mothers will be able to breastfeed when required. The team for
The World Breastfeeding Week is celebrating and galvanizing action on breastfeeding and related issues. And now to Africa, where the military junta in Niger Republic cut tough ties with Nigeria, France and other countries today after the peace talks delegate sent by the Economic Community of West Africa State failed. According to reports, the delegation from the ECOWAS arrived in Niamey with the aim of establishing a dialogue with the junta in order to obtain the return to constitutional order. The first contacts on site were positive, but at the end of the evening, the CNSP spoke through the voice of Colonel Major Amadou Abdrahman, the same who spoke on July 26 when the soldiers announced that they had overthrown President Emerson Mnangagwa, has inaugurated a Chinese-funded power station that he said would go on a long way in easing power shortages and the national elections. Mnangagwa, who is aiming for the presidential term on August 23, launched a 600-megawatt coal-fired power plant, reassuring voters that the plant will boost the state enabler of development, adding that Zimbabwe was open for business. On a foreign scene, France has rejected the Niger junta's move to scrap bilateral military pacts, saying the West African country's legitimate leadership alone was entitled to do so. The foreign ministry said after the junta in Niamey said it was cancelling military cooperation agreement with Paris. Recall that the military junta in Niger Republic cut off ties with Nigeria, France, and other countries today after the peace talks delegate sent by the Economic Community of West African States failed. Still on a foreign scene, Republican presidential candidate Chris Christie met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during an unannounced trip to Ukraine today. The former New Jersey governor also visited battle-torn areas of Mosushun and Bucha. He told reporters traveling with him that he came to the country because he wants Americans to see what he sees through their resolve to support Ukraine countries. Meanwhile, the former New Jersey governor has defended U.S. support for Ukraine and in a town hall said U.S. support was necessary to counter the influence of adversaries like China and Russia. He also should win the war against Russia. Still to come in the news. FIFA says Women's World Cup crowds increased since 2019. Do stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. On our business news, after 51 years of operation in Nigeria, British pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline (GSK) has announced plans to end its prescription medicines and vaccines in the country. In a statement sent to the Nigerian Exchange Limited, the multinational pharmaceutical company said it would transit to a third-party direct distribution model, working with its advisors to agree on the next steps, while it plans to submit a scheme of arrangements to the Securities and Exchange Commission for the possible return of cash to its local shareholders. Recall that GlaxoSmithKline was incorporated in Nigeria in June 1971 and commenced business the following year. The multinational Ribena, Lucozade, Marklins and Andrews liver salt, among other products, even Lucozade boasts. Still in business, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council and EPC, Ezra Yukusak, has said that limited access to banks' financial services by exporters is one of the significant challenges stifling the smooth growth of non-oil export in the country. Yukusak said this while speaking with export desk officers from 29 Abuja. Recall that the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria recently increased the benchmark interest rate to 18.75% from 18.5% in May. According to them, the lending institution's high interest rate and low disbursement of credit facilities to finance non-oil sector export trade adversely affects the nation's non-oil exports. Memorandum of Understanding MOU with development partners to reduce the spread of cancer in Abuja. In a statement, it was revealed that the MOU, which was signed in Abuja, makes Nigeria's capital part of a growing network of cancer cities committed to improving cancer care. According to the statement, cancer is responsible for 79,000 deaths and approximately 124,000 new cases in Nigeria each year. Accounting for the collective effort would strengthen the ministry's commitment to fostering a healthier Nigeria by urgently reducing the country's cancer incidence and mortality. And still in health, medical experts have advised pregnant women to increase their fiber intake, warning that a low level of it can raise the risk of neurodevelopmental delays later in life. They noted that fiber is a critical component of a healthy, balanced diet needed during pregnancy and should be taken with appropriate. Mary Mbeke. Low fiber intake during pregnancy may hamper the development of the fetus, while appropriate intake would affect the baby's development positively. She added that dietary fiber increases the weight and size of one's stool and softens it. And sports football's governing body FIFA said attendance at the Women's World Cup have increased by 30% since 2019. The association revealed this today, stating that the tournament in Australia and New Zealand had exceeded expectations in many ways. Data provided by football's governing body showed that after 48 matches so far, had about 1.2 million fans. That is a 29% increase compared to after 48 matches in France 4 years ago. And still in sport, Chelsea has announced the signing of French international defender Alex Disasi from Monaco on a 6-year contract. The centre-back, who has made 130 appearances in League One, has been capped 4 times by France and was part of the squad at last year's World Cup. Meanwhile, the co-sporting directors Lauren Stewart and Paul Winstanley said Ansel has showcased his quality over several seasons in France that has led to his recognition on the international stage. On our entertainment news, the family of Nollywood icon Saint Obi has announced a funeral arrangement of the deceased actor. According to a flyer released by the family, the deceased actor will be laid to rest, and a Nollywood actor reportedly passed away on May 8 this year at the age of 57 after battling a protracted ailment. And still on entertainment, United States Consul General delivering remarks at the pre-award reception in honor of the 16th Annual Headies Music Awards. Stephen explained that the return of the Headies Award to Atlanta symbolizes the Nigerian music industry's dynamism, creativity, and growing global reach. He further highlighted the people-to-people ties. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Consul General in Atlanta, Amina Smaila, noted that the upcoming 16th Headies Awards in Atlanta offers an opportunity to celebrate African culture, resilience, and creativity. At this time, do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon and enjoy the rest of your weekend.